It's hard to believe, but each year in this country, children are responsible for more than 100 fire deaths, nearly 1,000 painful burn injuries, and hundreds of millions of dollars in property loss. We need to lower this number and teach our children the dangers of fire. We've invited in our safety expert, Michael McLear, along with Jake, the fire safety dog. Welcome.
Thank you.
We are glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, now this is an important topic that we need to talk about. And I know last time you were here, we were talking all things park party and a lot of fun with the smokehouse, but even in that smokehouse, you are teaching kids the importance of fire safety.
We are. One of the common questions that parents and caregivers ask us is, what do I do if my child has a fascination with fire? And that's a question that I think a lot of the viewers may have, and they just don't have the answers. So one of the things we need to look at is really making sure that families talk about fire safety proactively and together.
Now, I know that some people might say, well, if I talk to my kid about it, maybe I'm going to be giving them ideas, so maybe it's better to say nothing.
Well, as we raise children, children are introduced to fire at an early age. Birthday candles on a birthday cake.
Exactly.
So again, they're brought up with fire is fun, fire is festive, and fire is familiar. They're not aware of the dangers.
All right, well, I know that recently we put together a little video that just kind of shows some of this and that it is a serious thing.
It is.
Let's take a look at that. I think the messages in this are so important. So how do we begin a conversation with our kids about the dangers of fire?
Well, first we need to, as parents or caregivers, as adults, we need to make sure that we're following proper modeling. We need to make sure we're securing matches and lighters, tools, and teaching that they're only tools for grown-ups. If young ones find matches or lighters, come tell a grown-up. Too many times we have parents or caregivers that will talk about, well, I have my child go and get my cigarettes or my matches or lighters, and that's not a safe choice because we're teaching young children at an early age that it's okay to use fire and they can't anticipate what might go wrong.
Okay, so, you know, I saw the stat at the beginning of that little piece we watched, 46% arsons by kids under the age of 18. Why do kids get into this? Why do we go from, I'm going to light the birthday candle and sing happy birthday, to I'm going to see if I can light this garage on fire?
Well, a lot of times, Miranda, there are warning signs. It may be caused because of bullying in school or in the community or in the neighborhood.
You see a link between bullying and kids who get into this?
We do. The fire setting is actually a cry for help. We also see families that may have some turmoil within the family, maybe a blended family. Maybe we're having a stepchild that's causing harm or abusing, or a family member that's abusing the individual who's setting the fire. Maybe, again, there's been a family that's been displaced through home foreclosure and they're moving into a new neighborhood and a new community, or they've had a loss of a loved one or a pet. Those are all reasons why, and many more, that children may reach out and use fire or engage in other high-risk taking behavior.
You know, what about easy access to things? I think that we as parents kind of forget about that. Right. You know, when you have this stuff sitting around, kids are curious.
That's right, they are curious. And again, it's human nature for children to learn through using the five senses. But we need to make sure that we're providing proper supervision. The majority of our incidents occur after school, and it's before parents and caregivers are home to watch out for those children. So making sure we're teaching, making sure that we're working collaboratively and proactively, and understanding there are resources in the greater Grand Rapids and greater Kalamazoo areas to reach out and help address these problems. We have well-trained people and programs that can help on those early stages of youth fire setting. Burn carpet marks, things like that we may see in the bedroom. More often than not, the bedroom is that area where children will engage in the experimentation. Okay,
so as I hear this, what does a parent do? Someone who's watching tonight who might say, oh my goodness, my kid has been messing around with this. Is this something I have to take seriously?
They should. I just had a parent actually that mentioned to me that they were vacationing and her 15-year-old son actually lit her hair on fire in a restaurant.
Wow.
So again, and these are things that we need to be aware of. We're all in this together. This isn't something that parents should be ashamed of. This isn't something that only happens to one family. It can happen to anyone at any time. And we have trained professionals within the fire service and our mental health communities that have the answers and can really get to the root of the problem.
I think you bring up so many wonderful points that we as parents need to have those conversations early about prevention.
Right.
And also, if our kids are doing this, it could be a cry for help, and we need to listen and get them the help they need.
Absolutely. We've got some very comprehensive information on WOTVforwomen.com, Miranda, so that viewers can take a look at that information, see how it applies to their situation.
Thank you so much. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Miranda.
all the good work you do. Here's a final thought I'd like to leave you with tonight. Have a great evening where you live.